Stability in the Middle East.
As soon as that war's over, which
by work at the CIA.
Top counterterrorism official Kent resigns over Trump's Iran war, says Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Kent said in a statement posted on social media, making claims President Donald Trump has denied.
As head of the National Counterterrorism Center, he was
saying the strikes that began more than 2 weeks ago were necessary.
I've decided to resign from my position.
Kent, a former Green Beret and political candidate with connections to right-wing extremists, was confirmed last July on a 52-44 vote. As head of the National Counterterrorism Center, he was in charge of an agency tasked with analyzing and detecting terrorist threats. His resignation demonstrates that the unease about the war within Trump's base extends to at least one senior member of his Republican administration.
Your first term. Until
the question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it.
Shannon, in a war manufactured
by Israel.
The leadership change comes at a time of heightened concern about terrorism following several recent violent attacks in the U.S. Kent's decision came down to the reasoning behind the strikes on Iran, he wrote in his resignation letter. Trump has offered shifting reasons for the strikes and has pushed back on claims that Israel forced the U.S. to act. House Speaker Mike Johnson has suggested the White House believed Israel was determined to strike on its own, leaving the Republican president with a very difficult decision.
The Trump administration's war in Iran
mission accomplished sign around here, and we can
successful campaigns for Congress in Washington state.
Again.
Speaking with reporters in the Oval Office on Tuesday, Trump said he always thought Kent was weak on security, and if someone in his administration did not believe Iran was a threat, we don't want those people. They're not smart people, or they're not savvy people, Trump said. Iran was a tremendous threat. A year ago, in nominating Kent, Trump praised him as a man who had hunted down terrorists and criminals his entire adult life.
To our nation, and it is clear that we started this war
as the U.S. doesn't need the help of the U.K. or any
They threat every country.
Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, whose office oversaw Kent's work, wrote in a social media post Tuesday that it was up to Trump to decide whether Iran posed a threat. After carefully reviewing all the information before him, President Trump concluded that the terrorist Islamist regime in Iran posed an imminent threat, and he took action based on that conclusion, Gabbard wrote in the post. She did not mention her own views of the strikes.
Joe Kent says Iran
to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat.
Terrorism efforts disputes that. In a social media,
Democrats strongly opposed Kent's confirmation because of his past ties to far-right figures and conspiracy theories. But following his resignation, Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, said Kent's concerns about the war in Iran were justified. I strongly disagree with many of the positions he has espoused over the years, particularly those that risk politicizing our intelligence community, Warner said.
As head of the National Counterterrorism Center, he was
saying the strikes that began more than 2 weeks ago were necessary.
But on this point, he is right. There was no credible evidence of an imminent threat from Iran that would justify rushing the United States into another war of choice in the Middle East. Johnson, though, pushed back on Kent's claims at a press conference on Tuesday. I got all the briefings. We all understood that there was clearly an imminent threat, that Iran was very close to the enrichment of nuclear capability, and they were building missiles at a pace no one in the region could keep up with, Johnson said.
Which you enacted in your first term. Until
The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it.
Shannon,
Johnson said he is convinced that if Trump had waited, we would have mass casualties of Americans, service members, and others, and our installation would have been dramatically damaged. That's what we can say. Don't forget to support our channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. We thank you all for your support.
Disputes that. In a social media,
and influential members of the American media deployed a
stability in the Middle East.
As soon as that war's over.